Aloha and welcome to the Solar Coaster Live Show. We have an opportunity here to speak to some really cool guys, some good friends, longtime contributors and friends to the Solar Coaster Radio Show from our home here in Maui. This is the Rising Sun crew. I'm going to introduce them one by one. I'm going to start out with the big man, Matias Besasso. You want to say aloha, Matias?
Hello, everyone. How are you, Josh?
Excellent. Great to have you on board. Good to see you, my friend. Chauncey Brown. Chauncey looking like Luke Skywalker there with that background. Aloha, Chauncey.
Hey, aloha, Josh. How are you doing this morning?
Great to see you, Chauncey. And Mr. Joti Mangat. Joti's a good friend, and he's been engaged with some amazing projects here at Rising Sun. How you doing, Joti?
Good morning. Aloha Sunday. I'm doing great. Thanks for having us.
All right. I don't know if y'all out there in SPI land get a sense of how difficult it is to wrangle people on a Sunday morning in Maui where there's good surf. So thank you, gentlemen. But you're doing some really exciting stuff. And our goal here is to understand and share with the nation, really, some of these projects, or one project in particular that we've all been hearing about in the community. It is something that's very special. I don't know who wants to take the helm here and introduce this project and your company. I want you to take a moment to talk about Rising Sun, who we all know very well.
We've been working with the boys here for a number of years now. And, I have to credit both of them for coming on at a time where the solar game had changed for us. I started the company a long time ago with my former partner, and, it was hard to educate, but then net metering came along for the rest of America and for us, and we all had a solar party. We did great for over a decade. But then that meter went away and storage was required and storage wasn't really there, and modeling and confidence and financing and all the miracles needed to make that transition happen. Well, that was a great time to meet Joti and Chauncey. Chauncey was amazing technical background. Joti with his world finance background. I'm an immigrant that's used to fighting for, things. And so I don't know, that's what we did. And today we have a great practice, a great company that's leading the charge with a new wave of solar, which is solar with storage.
Thank you, Matias, for that intro. And yeah, as you said it, all the miracles that needed to happen in a post-NEM world while we were getting clobbered by the utility and clobbered by everybody. Man, I lived those days. I know what you're talking about. So let's jump right into this project. It feels to me like the kind of conclusion or the successful conclusion of all of that hard work.
I know, Josh, you know a lot about this facility. It was built in the 80s. It went bankrupt a couple of times. It was a golf course that was supposed to be providing 3 golf courses for the McKenna area. Flipped hands several years. And then about 5 years ago or so, it was purchased by some private landholders that went in and wanted to develop the area, wanted to change it out. This specific building was a building that had stayed in the same state as it was for about 20 years, which was just a concrete shell on one of the most beautiful beaches on the entire island. It was supposed to be the golf club and the rental place for one of the golf courses, and it just never quite got off the ground. So when these folks came in, the base of the foundation of the building was there, and 2 levels were, but nothing really else. And it was just this beautiful a concrete structure on one of the most beautiful pieces of land you've ever seen. They looked at it, and it was 6 individuals that had purchased it. They were interested in developing the area, and they wanted kind of a bomb-proof house and location, an area where they could go, they could hang out and not have to worry about anything. Everything was going to be built to the standard of which, if there was a power outage, they could charge their EVs. Every vehicle underneath this thing is an electric vehicle. You have to have an electric vehicle to park it in there. So 6 owners, 12 parking stalls, car washes underneath, EV chargers for each one. It's also it's the end of a circuit. When we went back to them and talked to them, they really stressed that these brownouts and the rolling issues and the backup was really something that they needed to have. So we upsized the storage system on it as well, so that it could actually take the throughput of the entire source of the energy. So we ended up upgrading it from a 100 kilowatt inverter to a 250 kilowatt Tesla PowerPack, and then 600 kilowatt hours on the backside of that.
It represents the convergence of different disciplines into a showcase project in Hawaii. And for me, the biggest part of it is resiliency. This home has a reverse osmosis system inside it. It has desalination. It's right next to the ocean. So it's pulling in water from the Pacific, turning it into potable water and having that as backup for its potable water solution. It has 600 kilowatt hours of energy storage. It's made from like 3 foot thick concrete, the entire building. You know, it's no irony, or the irony was not lost on us, that during this process we had our false flag ballistic missile alert in Hawaii during this construction. So the relevance of an asset like this was very, very heightened.
I think the most notable thing out of this project is that it operates as an independent microgrid. It's a grid tethered microgrid. When the grid is on, it's connected and it does its thing, but it has the full ability to disconnect, island itself, and fully support itself and all of the loads in it. It does it in an intelligent way where it prioritizes generation and storage. It may curtail some loads. It may turn off some loads. But the point that I want to make, Josh, and it kind of ties back to what I was saying about the early days of solar and the days of batteries and the new days of solar and batteries, the word microgrid is a word that you're going to hear coming up more and more and more. We're coming into a time when we're truly starting to interact between renewables, the firming characteristics of storage, and the dynamic characteristics of our grid, and starting to work in unison so we can finally get to these goals that we have. I mean, 100% renewable goals in 20 to 25 years, we're getting there. And we're getting there smiling.